Breaker 19, are there any smokies with ears on?
If you want to smoke, you good buddy, try Channel 9. Can I be of any assistance?
I got a 1033 here, and I'm looking for a bear's den.
What's your handle, good buddy?
Well, my handle'll be Sand Crab, and I'm pushing an 18-wheeler.
Sand Crab, there's no bear's den on this interstate. Is there anyone hurt on that 1033?
What you have just heard is an actual CB conversation. Sand Crab, a truck driver operating an 18-wheeler semi-tractor trailer, is calling for assistance on Channel 19, generally used for road information and conditions. He has indicated that there is a 1033 accident or problem on the road, and he is looking for a police officer.
Sand Crab, this is Witch Doctor traveling north on 287. There was a report of a Tijuana taxi on the move at mile marker 24, but I don't have an eyeball on him yet.
Breaker 19 to that Sand Crab. I'm heading south. What's your 20?
My 20 be mile marker 26.
That's a 10-4. I'm 2 miles behind you, and I haven't seen any local yokels. A county mountie passed about 20 minutes ago, but he's probably not in range. Can I be of any assistance? What is the nature of the 1033?
Breaker 19 to Sand Crab. You've got a Morristown base station here. What's the nature of your problem?
Motorists equipped with CB rigs and base stations in range of Sand Crab are responding to the call and attempting to eyeball or visually spot a police cruiser known in CB language as a Tijuana taxi or local yokel. When it becomes obvious that none are in the immediate vicinity or close enough to be in radio contact, other CBers ask the nature of the problem.
Breaker 19, this is Sand Crab, the down 18-wheel reefer. I'm hauling a load of California grapes worth $20,000, and the refrigerator unit is broken down. It's imperative I receive an escort to an emergency repair station. I believe there's one in that Interstate 80 in North Jersey area. Time's important, though, and I'm going to end up with a whole load of jam or a smelly weekend.
The 18-wheeler, now defined as a refrigerator or reefer in CB language, is carrying a perishable load of California grapes. A refrigerator unit is broken down, and the driver needs an escort so that he can reach a repair station in time to save the shipment from spoiling. Hearing this report over their CB radios, motorists in the area make several suggestions.
Breaker 19 to Sand Crab. This is Jackrabbit in the four-wheeler. Give the county mounties a shot on that Channel 9. If they don't respond, perhaps you'll reach react teams.
Sand Crab, this is Red Wagon. I will pass a local bear's den in about 10 minutes. I can stop and give them your 20 and report the problem.
Breaker 19 to Sand Crab. This is Record Maker, Morristown base station, and I have an available landline and can call this problem into a bear's den.
One motorist, Jack Rabbit, is a four-wheeler or passenger car that suggests using the emergency Channel 9 to reach a react team or other emergency group that might be listening in or monitoring the channel. Red Wagon suggests he stop at a local police station to give them a report of the problem. Before Sand Crab has a chance to answer, Record Maker announces that he has a base station with an available landline, that is, a telephone in CB language. He offers to call the state police instead of a county mountie, CB language for local police, and report Sand Crab's dilemma. A base station will usually have a greater range than that of a mobile radio because of the fixed antenna.
Breaker 19 to that base station. I would appreciate you using that landline and calling the Bear's Den for this Interstate 287.
That's a 10-4, Sand Crab. I'll make the call and get back to you in a short.
Thanks, good buddy. I'll keep my ears on.
Breaker 19 to Sand Crab.
You got the one, Sand Crab?
Sand Crab, this is Record Maker. I contacted the Bear's Den and assistance is on the way. Tijuana taxi will be reaching you in just a few minutes.
That's a big 10-4, Record Maker. I sure appreciate your help on this. Have yourself a fine day and a better day tomorrow.
Same to you, Sand Crab. Have a safe trucking trip. We'll be on the side if you need us. This is KRS 07933. We're done. We're going bye-bye.
Sand Crab accepts Record Maker's offer and thanks his good buddy for the assistance. Record Maker places the phone call and then reports back to Sand Crab that the police are on their way. Sand Crab acknowledges with a 10-4 CB10 code for message understood and signs off with a typical CB language closing. Now that you have heard an actual emergency situation resolved by the use of CB radio operated by citizens like yourselves, learn to operate your own radio with skill, courtesy, efficiency, and legally by listening to this record and reading the material on the back cover. Whether you travel the open roads of the interstate system or sit home on a rainy fall evening, you're never alone when you have a Citizens Band mobile unit or base station radio. You're among the millions of people capable of reaching out and communicating their thoughts and ideas with the push of a button through the common bond of Citizens Band radio. Traffic information, weather conditions, or other information can easily be passed from one person to another or to a large group. Mankind searched for ways to communicate from the early ages, and now it's possible through the miracle of electronics for just about anyone using the Citizens Band to talk to friends and neighbors anywhere in a given area. This recording is designed to help you in that communication by making you aware of the uses and limitations and laws of CB communication, as well as making you feel at ease behind the microphone. Listen to this recording before you press the button on your first broadcast to the world of CB. Learn the courtesies of the airwaves and the laws and responsibilities governing your own radio station. Learn the special CB language that has been developing over the years so you can more completely communicate with the people you are reaching out to. Citizens Band radio, properly used, will bring you many hours of enjoyment, companionship, and permit you to help others and help yourself in an emergency. Understanding your radio is important. Knowing its capabilities and limitations will permit you to use it to the optimum. There are several basic components to the CB radio system that you should be familiar with. The radio is both a receiver and a transmitter built into the same chassis, and this is known as the transceiver. Connected to the transceiver is the microphone that permits your voice to be carried through the system. Because the radio is both a receiver and transmitter, the mic has a switch on it known as a key. When this key is depressed, the radio becomes a transmitter, and when the key is in the normal position, the radio is a receiver. The other important element to your CB rig is the antenna. The antenna carries the signal into the air, and the better the antenna system, the greater distance your broadcast will reach. There are two basic types of CB radio systems or stations. One is known as a mobile, and the other a base station. The major difference between the two systems is that of the antenna. A base station or fixed location permits the use of a larger and more substantial antenna system, while a mobile unit antenna is restricted by the limitations of the vehicle it is on. Also, a mobile unit uses power supplied by the vehicle's electrical system, and a base station will operate on standard house current. The controls are simple to operate, with the most important being the channel selector. Just like the selector on your TV set, it permits you to transmit or receive on any indicated frequency or channel. Only Channel 9, used for emergencies, and Channel 19, used for road information, are limited in their use. All other channels are freely used for any conversation or call. Another important control is the squelch. This control permits you to filter out the noise and receive only the transmissions in range. A good setting is just at the point where background noise disappears. If the squelch is set too low, you will not hear the calls that are weak but still audible. Regardless of the setting, however, there is no effect on your broadcast. As you listen to the conversations contained in this recording, use the dictionary, glossary, and 10 code on the album back to learn the meaning of the CB vocabulary used in the live transmissions. Although you have almost total anonymity on CB radio unless you make yourself known, you are expected by other CBers to respect the on-air communications. There are courtesies that, if observed, will make your CB radio experiences more pleasant, and you will be respected by those you are talking with. Most of those courtesies are dictated by common sense. The FCC requires the giving of your call sign at the beginning and end of each conversation. However, the government has no regulations regarding courtesy. This means it is up to each individual to conduct himself with honor on the air. Your radio transmissions can interfere with the transmissions of others, and the cardinal rule is not to interrupt the conversations of others. If you need or want to use the channel when conversations are in progress, wait until someone finishes a sentence, key the mic, and ask for a break. The same common courtesy also dictates that others will give a fellow CBer the chance to use the channel. Always follow the rules for breaking into a channel.
Hey, look, you come to that coffee break, we can eyeball and talk further about that antenna system.
That's 10-4, Ridge Runner.
Break 2-3 for a short.
Loose goose, I think somebody wants to use the channel, so we're going to be on the side a while. This is KGM 07933 on the side.
Thanks, guys, for the break. Is the Silver Midget on the channel? Is that one Silver Midget on the channel?
Yeah, you got that one Silver Midget.
This is Tennessee Jed. Did you hear about that coffee break?
That's a 10-4, Tennessee Jed. We'll be at that Union High for the coffee break.
The 10-4, Silver Midget. I'll be looking forward to meeting you. I've been hearing you're some foxy lady. Thanks again for that break, boys. This is KTJ 07040 on the side.
I'm as foxy as my silver bullet MGB. See you at the break, Tennessee Jed.
That conversation demonstrated the proper way to break in and ask for the use of the channel. Breaking into a channel for transmitting a message or for locating someone you think may be listening on that particular channel may be done at any time, providing, however, that you use basic courtesy. The same courtesy that you would use in breaking into a conversation with a group of your friends. Although the FCC regulations permit the continued use of a channel for up to 5 minutes, most CBers will be happy to relinquish the channel so that you can get a short message through to someone you're trying to contact. If a prolonged conversation is taking place, FCC regulations limit continual transmissions to 5 minutes. Then the channel must be relinquished for at least 1 full minute. It is against FCC regulations to transmit a dead carrier, that is, keying the mic on or transmitting without any voice being sent through the receiver. Besides being a wasteful exercise, a transmitter that is emitting will interfere with the communications of other CBers. If it is necessary to test the receiver and a radio check is not used, then the radio should be equipped with a dummy load on the antenna output so as not to interfere with other radio sets. Also, a dummy load must be used to protect the electronic parts from damage by transmitting without an antenna. The information that you might transmit, particularly on the road, regarding accidents, condition, and positions of vehicles, should, of course, be very accurate. Other CBers might be depending on the information you provide for a safe and direct route. If you are asked for directions and are not certain of your information, tell your fellow CBers of that fact so as not to mislead them in their travels. You may be in a similar position someday, counting on the information transmitted. Remember that the information that you send over your microphone may reach hundreds or thousands of people, particularly in crowded urban areas or on major highways and interchanges. The information you provide on road conditions, weather, and traffic conditions is greatly appreciated by your fellow motorists, and they, in turn, will be encouraged to provide the same information to you. The bond that exists between CBers extends beyond conversation over the airwaves to actually rendering physical aid in their help to each other.
Burger 19 for a southbounder on the Garden State.
Got a southbounder. Come on.
This is Red Wagon. How far south are you going?
We're going to exit 117 and then this green stamp. You got the one Tennessee Jet here.
Tennessee Jet, would you be willing to give some military guys a lift south?
Red Wagon, how many are there?
There are 2 guys heading to Fort Dix. Come back.
You'd be happy to take them. As far as we're going, anyway. Red Wagon?
I'm at mile marker 141.4 on the side of this green stamp, and my emergency flashers are on. I'm driving a red 4x4 Ford. What's your 1020?
I'm at this one piggy bank in Union, and I'll be coming up behind you shortly.
Oh, that's a big 10-4. We'll be looking to eyeball you.
That's a great way to use the radio. These sets have a purpose beyond just pointing out Tijuana taxis.
If I were going south, I'd certainly stop and lend a helping hand.
Hey, that's a big 10-4. I wish I was going in your direction. I'd be happy to give him a lift.
Helping in an emergency, relaying information, and courtesy on the radio is what CB is all about. The satisfaction of contacting your fellow CBers on the air and helping each other out is an important part of two-way radio communication. Since the one limitation of CB radio is that you cannot contact someone unless they are listening to the channel, it's necessary to know some of the ways to reach those people you are looking for. If a conversation is in progress and you want to converse or modulate with an individual talking about some specific thing, then you might ask to speak to that person talking about the item being discussed.
Breaker 1-5 for that person talking about antennas.
Pick it up, Breaker.
If you want to reach someone in a specific area and don't have a pre-arranged appointment on the air for a specific time and channel, then you would say,
Breaker 19 for someone in that Somerville town.
if you are driving along the highway and looking for a motel or restaurant or operating from a base station and looking for a specific product or service, you would simply ask the general audience to suggest or provide you with the information needed.
Breaker 1-5, can you tell us a 20 of the Nap Trap with ears on in the area of Morristown?
It may seem strange at first to shout into the vast unknown for a response, but you will find your fellow CBers are ready and willing to respond with information. The following sequence demonstrates the proper use of Channel 19 and the placing of an emergency call on the designated emergency Channel 9. Chit-chat or prolonged discussions are held on any one of the additional channels which will prevent any interference with road information or emergency calls.
Breaker for a westbound four-wheeler.
Oh, pick it up. You got a four-wheeler.
Where's your 20? I'm at exit 38.
I just passed that exit 39. I guess you have the front door. I'll keep this back door shut. Where's your 20, good buddy?
My home 20 is Plainfield, New Jersey, buddy.
Ah, do you know that goat lady?
Oh, yeah, we know her. We're good buddies. Same swim club. You hear the story about her when she...
Breaker for that four-wheeler. If you want to talk, take it to another channel. This channel's for traffic condition.
Yeah, these flaky four-wheelers think they own the channel.
Take it to Channel 18, old buddy.
We'll meet you on Channel 18.
Let's eyeball at the rest of them up area.
Oh, that's a big 10-4.
Hold on, old buddy. I got a down four-wheeler on the grass here. I'm going to pull up and see if I can give him some help. I'm going down emergency channel. This is KRS 07933 Mobile calling React. We're by exit 35 on I-78 westbound. We have a four-wheeler who is on the side, no injuries. He requests police or a tow truck. He's not blocking traffic, so we'll be waiting on the scene with him for the emergency vehicle to arrive. This is KRS 07933 on the side.
Don't hog Channel 19. Many motorists are trying to get messages through. You don't have to do a lot of talking to benefit from your CB radio.
Hey, we got a Willie Weaver in a green Buick with New York tags. Looks like he's got a brown bottle in his hand. Mercy sakes, that Smokey must have ears. He just put the hammer down in that truck him up lane, and it looks like he's pulling him down. Now, all you westbounders, you got a Smokey with a down four-wheeler at mile marker 19. How about that, record maker? You still on the side?
Go ahead. You still got the record maker. We're just sitting back and listening to those smoky reports. Breaker 19, how about that portable parking lot on the side by mile marker 18? Do you have yours on?
You got the jackrabbit. Come on.
10-4 on that jackrabbit. Any trouble?
Oh, that's negatory. We're just taking some Z's.
Have yourself one fine snooze, and maybe we'll catch you on the flip-flop.
The 10 code, used frequently by CBers, was developed originally for law enforcement officers to communicate more quickly and efficiently. Radio equipment has limited frequency response, and sometimes transmissions are interfered with by other man-made devices or even sunspots. These factors make it important to transmit a message as clearly and succinctly as possible and in the shortest length of time. Another factor is the limited range of most citizen band equipment. For instance, if you are traveling west on an interstate highway at 55 miles per hour, and the vehicle you are talking with is traveling east or in the opposite direction at 55 miles per hour, you have a combined separation speed of 110 miles per hour. This is equal to almost 2 miles per minute. Therefore, if the effective range of the average mobile-to-mobile radio is 6 miles on a busy highway, you have only 3 minutes to converse before the transmission becomes weak or garbled. By using the 10 code and other abbreviated language, it is possible to be more quickly understood by the recipient of the message. It's a stormy night on Interstate 80. You're driving east, and the rain is coming down heavy on the windshield. There is no light in your driver's compartment, and the rain has slowed you down. You're going to be late for a business meeting, and you need to find out what time it is. You pick up your CB microphone and ask for a 1036.
Breaker 19 for 1036.
Instantly, your fellow CBers respond with the correct time.
It's 8:30 on that 1036.
That's 10-4, guy. Thanks for the comeback.
Now that you've made contact with a fellow CBer, you might want to pass on some road information.
Guy, what's your 1020?
Just passing mile marker 35 in the westbound lane is I-80.
That's 10-4. What's your handle?
You got the one Jackrabbit here.
Jackrabbit, this is Mean Machine. You better back it down a little. There's a 1033 at mile marker 38. There's also a four-wheeler on the side and a Smokey with his bubblegum machine going.
Thanks for the info, Mean Machine. We certainly back it down and watch for that 1033.
Breaker 19 for an eastbounder. I have a message to 105.
You got the one Sand Crab eastbound. What's the 1020 of that 105?
The 1020 is at Uniontown for that one Hawkeye. He's on channel 11 and expecting to receive a message.
That's a 10-4, Mean Machine. What's the message?
It's a 1035. Just tell Hawkeye 1024.
Copy, Mean Machine. All the good numbers to you, buddy.
That's a 10-4. Thanks for the 10-5. This is KRS 07933 on the side.
One of the most important things a citizens band radio operator is interested in is how well and how far his signal is reaching the rest of the world. Since all radios in the citizens band are limited by law to 4 watts of output power, the factors that can affect the distance and quality of transmission are the antenna, the match between the antenna and the radio, the microphone, and the location of the transmitter or receiver. The most effective way to test your rig, both for transmitting and receiving power, is to conduct an on-air radio check. Many CBers find that this is a way to meet their fellow CBers and begin other kinds of conversations and relationships. When a radio check is conducted, it's like calling into the vast unknown and waiting for a response. If it takes a few minutes for an answer to come back, the suspense builds and you wonder who and where you are reaching. Remember, do not use the emergency channel 9 for a radio check, and use the road channel 19 as a last resort. If your CB radio has a meter, watch carefully to determine the signal strength of the incoming signal. If you are receiving a transmission at 10 on a scale of 10, then the other CBer signal is reaching you with a maximum output. However, if you are relatively close and the signal reads only, say, 6 on a 10 scale, then the CBer transmitting may have a malfunction.
Breaker 15 for a radio check. Breaker 15, have we got anybody out there for a radio check?
Go ahead, radio check.
This is Witch Doctor. How are we making the trip?
You are hitting me with 10 pounds, and your audio is wall to wall.
Thanks for the comeback. What's your 1020 and handle?
I'm on Nye Avenue in that Whippany town. My handle is Snowbird.
That's a big 10-4, Snowbird. I'm at the intersection of that 287 and 80.
Witch Doctor, how are we making the trip to you? Come back?
You're hitting me with about 6 pounds and your audio is weak. Are you operating from a base or a mobile?
We have a base here on Nye Avenue, but I think our SWR may need some adjustment. What is your home 20, Witch Doctor?
That Morristown is my home 20, and I have a base station on James Street.
Well, I'm going to make some adjustment on this SWR. Hey, when you get home this evening, why don't you give me a shout on Channel 18 around 9 p.m.?
Hey, Snowbird, I'll be looking forward to giving you a shout. We can do some modulating and then maybe eyeball for a cup of Java.
Well, Witch Doctor, I will be looking forward to hearing from you this evening on 1-8. Witch Doctor, let me send you some 8s and other good numbers. This is KPT 07981 on the side.
Well, you have a good day today and a better day tomorrow. KRS 07933. We're down, we're gone. Bye-bye.
You just never know what may come as a result of a radio check. If Snowbird makes the SWR adjustment, that is the match between her antenna and radio, she'll certainly be able to reach the 10 or 15 miles to Witch Doctor's home 20. This is that one Mr. Voice Man saying 3s and 8s to you. KPT 10036. Catch you on the flip side.
Sand Crab,
Jackrabbit,
Red Wagon.
Loose Goose.
Silver Midget,
Tennessee Jet,
Goat Lady,
Hawkeye.
Witch Doctor.
Snowbird,
Magic Mama.
Everyone has heard about the famous CB handle, Rubber Duck. A handle is a pseudonym for a licensed CB operator and is used to maintain privacy and anonymity while on the air. A handle can be any group of words chosen in good taste and can be changed as often as the individual wants to change it. There are no rules in the FCC regulations for use of the handle. It's simply a custom that has developed to simplify the calling to or shouting from one CBer to another. You may want to choose a handle referring to the color and shape of your car, such as Little Red Wagon or Blue Blazer, or you may want your handle to reflect your occupation, such as music maker for a musician, or grass grower for a farmer, or metal man for a sheet metal or iron worker. Or choose a handle that reflects your personality or hobby. A beaver might choose Snowbird. A man could choose Casanova, Fox Hunter, or Flashbulb. A student might call himself Bookworm or Professor. Have fun with the handle and be creative. Now that you are connected with the world of CBers and can communicate, what have you got to say? You have a tool that enables you to swap information, similar to a telephone, but with one major difference. A telephone connects you in a private conversation. Your CB radio connects you to a public access channel. Every time you pick up the mic, you are broadcasting and subjecting the world to your speech. This should not intimidate you, but should certainly encourage you to improve your speaking. Many CBers claim that the microphone makes them more self-conscious and consequently more conscientious about their speech. So why not consider your CB radio a device to make you a better speaker? In spite of all the slick talk and colorful code of CB jargon, communication remains the purpose. So, strive to set a standard for yourself of better broadcasting. Keep up the caliber of your conversation and speak in a manner that can be readily understood. Your clever code won't be of much use if your good buddy can't hear you. You'll be getting a 10-9 instead of a 10-4. So why pass out negative copy? You can raise your level of broadcasting every time you go on the air by putting into practice these pointers. 1. Hold the mic for best transmitting a few inches from your mouth. Press the lever on the side all the way in and begin your message. When you release the lever, your voice is no longer transmitting. So make sure you've completed the final word before releasing the lever, or you'll cut yourself short. 2. Have something to say. Don't litter the airwaves with idle chatter. you could be preventing someone else with vital information from gaining access to a channel. 3. Speak up and spit it out. Spare your fellow CBers the ers, ahs, and you know what I mean. They clog up the channel with wasted words. Most importantly, think about what you have to say so that when you get the go-ahead, you don't have to stall. 4. Speak distinctly. Diction is pronouncing the syllables in the word clearly and crisply so that you transmit clean copy every time. Make sure you don't drop the ends of words or run words together. You may want to carry a portable tape recorder with you and listen to yourself to hear how you sound, so you'll know which words to work on. 5. Emphasize the important words, the ones that convey the information, that express content. If you're giving vital information, stress the words that tell the story. 6. Speak at a rate that can be easily understood. Even if your handle be Jackrabbit, don't hop along too fast, or you'll get the response 1011 to your message, which means talking too quickly. 7. Pitch. Use your normal speaking tone. People have a tendency to tighten their throat muscles under stress situations. This can cause you to raise your pitch and lose resonance. In an emergency situation, take a deep breath, relax your throat, and maintain a steady pitch. You'll have the greatest resonance when you just relax and speak naturally, unless you are naturally nasal, which brings me to point 8. 8. If you are a nasal speaker, your sound system is trapped in your nasal passage, and your message will be slurred and fuzzy. To improve your resonance, take a deep breath before you speak and open your mouth wider so that the sound emits from the oral cavity. When you're in the shower, practice roaring like a lion so you don't sound like a pussycat over the airwaves. 9. A word about regional accents. Your chances of being understood are fine as long as you're speaking to your neighborhood good buddies. Once you leave your regional area, you'd better bone up on standard American. Imitate the announcers on the radio as you're driving along, and you'll find you can overcome regional patterns that get in the way of clear communication. Only a Brooklyn CBer would know that tree is supposed to mean 3, and a Southern beaver should practice saying 4 instead of foa if she cruises past the Mason-Dixon line. Your call numbers identify you. The 10 code is critical to communication, and highway information is cataloged by numbers. So, practice perfection with your numbers. Repeat after me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 0. In summary, use the mic to your best advantage. Hold it close if you're having problems with transmission. Increase distance if you're coming on too strong. 1091 means talk closer to the mic. Compose your thoughts. Breathe deeply and speak up. Keep your throat relaxed and maintain a steady level of pitch and speed of delivery. If you get a consistent 10-4 in response to your message, you know you're doing okay. But you can always get better. After all, you've got a terrific tool at your disposal. Besides your handle, your voice is your total identity over the air. So make sure it presents you at your best. The FCC has allocated Channel 9 as the emergency channel. The use of this channel is strictly governed in Part 95 of the FCC Citizens Band Radio Service Regulations. The type of emergency for which this channel has been set aside is one requiring immediate action or assistance. Example, if your automobile ran out of gas in your driveway, this would not be considered a proper emergency to use Channel 9. However, if your automobile ran out of gas on a major highway or deserted country road, this situation would certainly justify the use of Channel 9. The emergency channel is monitored by many state and local officials, as well as non-profit organizations such as REACT, Radio Emergency Associated Citizens Teams, Help, Alert, and others. The teams working for the service organizations are made up of individuals just like yourself, interested in helping fellow CBers who may have an emergency. The teams are usually equipped with some emergency gear, as well as the knowledge of how to reach public emergency officials and private repair stations. If you cannot gain assistance on Channel 19, Road Information and Trucker Channel, and the emergency requires immediate action, turn your radio dial to Channel 9 and proceed. The FCC requires the use of your call letters on all transmissions, but to be taken seriously in an emergency. It is a must that you use your call letters.
This is KRS 07933, calling REACT. Calling for REACT. Is there anyone from REACT listening?
This is REACT KSO 01717. Can we be of assistance?
REACT, this is KRS 07933. I'm located on Route 287 near the Whippany exit in New Jersey. My tire blew out and the spare is defective. Also, there is a medical emergency in the vehicle.
Does the medical emergency require an ambulance?
An ambulance is not necessary, but it's imperative that we reach the hospital very quickly.
What is your exact 1020 and vehicle description?
I'm driving a silver MGB, and I'm at milepost 18 northbound on Interstate 287.
What is your handle?
This is Silver Midget REACT.
Silver Midget, stand by. We are going to use a landline to get you some assistance, and we will be right back to you in a short.
That's a 10-4, KRS 07933 on the side.
This is REACT calling Silver Midget.
You got that one, Silver Midget?
Silver Midget, one of our REACT team members will be arriving at your location shortly to take your medical emergency to Morristown Memorial Hospital. He is driving a green Ford wagon, license WDK 817.
I copy, REACT. How soon will he arrive?
He should be arriving in the next 4 to 5 minutes. In addition, we have called a tow truck whose home 20 is in the vicinity of the hospital.
We really appreciate the help, REACT. We'll be waiting on the side for help to arrive. This is KRS 07933 on the side.
REACT team KSO 67311 to base.
This is REACT base KSO 01717. Go ahead.
I have arrived at the location of the 1020. I have an eyeball on the tow truck and am proceeding now to Morristown Memorial Hospital with the medical emergency. This is REACT KSO 67311 on the side.
You have to remember when having a conversation on a CB radio channel that it is a gigantic party line. There may be just a few or a few hundred people listening in on your conversation. Therefore, it is not a good idea to broadcast your name, telephone number, address, or exact location, as some crank may decide to call you at weird hours of the night. There are, however, ways to meet your fellow CBers without the risk of broadcasting such personal information as your home phone number or address. One way to protect yourself is to write down the phone number of a nearby public payphone and arrange to receive a call from the particular person you would like to make contact with.
Break 1-5.
Go ahead, Breaker.
Thanks for the break, good buddy. Is Snowbird on the channel?
You got that one, Snowbird.
Hi, Snowbird. You got the loose goose here. I've been
trying to give you a shout for the last couple days.
Well, I've been at the seashore with my family and just got back last night.
Oh, well, I was wondering, Snowbird, if we could get together for an eyeball.
Gee, Loose Goose, I'd like to talk to you about that.
Snowbird, why don't you call me at 8:15 this evening at a payphone? The number's 444-3729, and I'll be waiting there to receive your call.
That's a Big 10-4, Loose Goose. Talk to you later. This is that one Snowbird, KDS, 06101 on the side.
This is KGM 07933, signing off till tune-in time.
By providing the number of a payphone, Loose Goose can safely talk to Snowbird and make plans to meet in person without the rest of the CB world knowing their specific plans. Sometimes it's fun to have a general eyeball for all those who are listening. This can be done by announcing that an eyeball will take place at some public location, such as a shopping center, school, playground, or park, and all those listening in are invited to attend. To ask for traffic conditions, you call or shout for someone traveling in the opposite direction to report on what he has encountered, a preview of what you will encounter when you arrive at that location. If you use the 10 code, ask for a 1013, meaning advise weather and road conditions, or just ask someone how it looks over his shoulder. As we listen into this segment of recorded conversation, Red Wagon is asking for someone traveling in a westbound direction.
Breaker 19, how about a westbound?
Go ahead, you got a westbounder.
How's it looking over your shoulder, guy?
You have a picture taker at mile marker 42 and a Smoky in the grass at mile marker 39.
Thanks for the comeback. You're clean and green to the Route 31.
Keep the dirty side down, the shiny side up, good buddy.
10-4.
Breaker 19 for an eastbounder.
You got an eastbounder.
What's your handle, good buddy?
You have the one red wagon. Come back.
Red Wagon, what's your 1020? We're looking for a front door.
Hey, good buddy. As soon as we pass that mile marker, we'll give you a shout and let you know where we are. What's your handle?
You have that one Jackrabbit here. Breaker for that Red Wagon. This is a Jackrabbit.
Go ahead, Jackrabbit.
We just passed mile marker 29. What's your 20?
I just passed mile marker 32. I guess that means I got the back door.
This is a Jackrabbit. We'll be on the side with our ears on.
Breaker 19er for a westbound.
You got a westbounder, pick it up.
How are we looking over your shoulder, buddy?
You're looking clean and green all the way to the New York town.
That's Big 10-4. That's the kind of news you like to hear.
Breaker 19, how about a red wagon? Go ahead, you got the red wagon.
Hey, where's your home 20?
We're from that Newark town.
You know that Ridge Runner from that Summit town?
10-4, we've spoken to him a couple of times. Hey, we just spotted a Smoky at the Rest 'em Up area. Back the handle down.
Hey, thanks a lot for that info, good buddy. We are definitely backing it down to the double nickel. Mercy sakes, we don't want any invitations.
Breaker 19, this is the red wagon looking for a westbounder on the New Jersey Double Deuce.
This is the Magic Mama heading west. What can we do for you, Red Wagon?
Can you tell me how we're looking over your shoulder?
We just got on at Springfield Town. You're looking clean to that Plainfield Town. We heard that there was a Smoky on the other side of the mountainside. So when you get there, ask somebody else about the Smoky situation.
A breaker for that beaver.
I'm no beaver. I'm a lady.
Leave that lady alone now. Mercy's sake, you cotton-picking flakes. Leave those ladies alone. Breaker for that Magic Mama.
You got her.
We just wanted to tell you, when you get into that Union town, that you're clear on up to Garden State Mixer.
Thanks a lot for that info. Have a good trucking trip.
If you need directions or road information, just shout or call for information on Channel 19. Then hold your conversation on another channel to avoid tying up the road and truck channel. You might even want to form a convoy and help each other look out for upcoming road hazards. As we pick up this next segment of conversation, Jack Rabbit is looking for directions to the Big Apple.
Breaker 19 for a westbounder.
Go ahead, Breaker, you got a westbounder.
Can you give us some information?
We're trying to help you with that information. Maybe on that 1-8 channel. Where's that guy who wants information?
Right here on 18.
Okay, good buddy, where are you heading?
We're looking for that New York town.
What's your 20?
Just past mile marker 17.
You're about 35 miles from that New York town. Just stay on this route 76 heading east. Then follow signs for the double deuce. Continue east to the New Jersey green stamp and take the hole in the wall to the Big Apple.
That's 10-4 there. See you back on 19.
10-4 there, good buddy.
Thanks a lot for that information. Did you get that copy about that Smoky mile marker 14?
Negatory. We haven't heard anything about it, but we're going to back it down now. We sure appreciate that information. What are you driving?
We're driving a red Ford.
I think we have an eyeball on your red Ford. What's your handle?
My handle be Jackrabbit. What's yours?
You got the mean machine, and it looks like we're going to be blowing your doors in. I guess this means you'll be sitting in the rocking chair.
Who's got that back door now?
Witch doctor.
How about that, witch doctor? You got your ears on?
Hey, who's shouting the witch doctor?
You got the Jackrabbit, and I'm sitting in this rocking chair. It's nice and easy here. You got the back door?
You got the witch doctor, and I got the back door, good buddy. We'll keep our eyes open for that bear.
Your fellow CBers will pass along all kinds of information, including Smoky reports.
Breaker 19, how about a smoker report eastbound?
Breaker 19, this is the witch doctor. Hey, the Smoky that's got that Willie Weaver just passed me at marker 38, and he's definitely got the candles lit, and he's on the move. You guys better back it down.
We sure appreciate that good news, but all we're doing is a 5-5. How about that, mean machine? Did you get a copy on that witch doctor with that Smoky report?
We heard witch doctor start talking, but he got stepped on.
We got a Smoky on the move with the hammer down and the candles lit. He's coming from that rear. You better back it down.
Thanks a lot for that info, good buddy. We definitely thank you a lot. Hey, that Smoky just passed me, and he still has the hammer down.
Breaker 19, this is the witch doctor. We have a sweet-looking beaver passing. She definitely has a short skirt and a nice-looking seat cover showing. Be on the lookout for this beaver. She's driving a blue Corvette.
Thanks a lot for that info. We're definitely going to keep our eyes open for this beaver. Breaker for that witch doctor. Do you know of any good bean stores on this 7-6?
They got a good truck 'em up stop near Union on a double deuce.
Can I buy you some of that Java, witch doctor?
We will meet you at that bean store and take you up on that coffee. Until then, we'll be 10-10.
Sometimes, law enforcement officers, in the interest of greater safety, will try to fool motorists if they have CB radios or ears. Many states have equipped or are in the process of equipping their cars with CB radios. This may seem unfair, but there are times when CBers are glad that Smokies have ears on.
Breaker for the witch doctor.
Go ahead, you got the witch doctor.
Take it to channel 2-1.
We're going to channel 2-1.
What are you hauling this trip?
We're hauling a truckload of balonies.
Are you independent?
Affirmative, good buddy.
We're going back to channel 19 to get some of those bear reports. We'll be on the side.
10-4.
Breaker for a westbounder.
You got a westbounder?
How are we looking over your shoulder there, good buddy?
Yeah, got that Smoky taking pictures at exit 40.
Thanks a lot for that comeback, good buddy. You're clean to that PA state. Breaker for an eastbounder.
You got it.
Can you tell us if that Smoky's still sitting at exit 40?
No, he left already. We didn't see anything.
Disregard that last report. That Smoky's trying to trap you. He's still sitting on exit 40. He just passed him.
Thanks a lot for that good news. I'll tell you, Smokies will try anything these days. Nothing's sacred anymore.
Breaker 19, is there a Smoky out there with his ears on?
This is Officer Smith. Is there an emergency?
I've just had a 1033. There were no injuries and no other vehicles involved, but I need assistance.
What is your position and vehicle description?
I'm a few hundred feet past mile marker 46, and I'm driving a blue Chevrolet wagon with New York tags.
Okay, calm down. I'm in your vicinity, and we'll be there shortly.
10-4, 10-4.
Your licensed CB transceiver is actually a mini radio station. You are the program director, the news director, and the commentator. The CB receiver is your news wire, and those transmitting information to you, your field correspondents. Your audience are those in range of your set, and your network is the thousands of CBers able to respond to your broadcasts and pass your communications on. The operation of a radio station using the public airwaves that belong to all of us, is not an inalienable right, but a privilege. The FCC grants each citizen the right to operate a CB transceiver, and along with that right goes certain legal and moral responsibilities. Some are basic courtesies, and other responsibilities are complicated technical restrictions. Although you can buy a CB radio in thousands of retail outlets, the radio or station must be licensed by the FCC. For a small fee, the FCC will assign you and members of your immediate family under your supervision call letters. These letters, a combination of numbers and letters, become the call sign or name of your radio station, and you are required to begin and end each conversation with the station's call sign.
This is one Mr. Flashbulb KDB 44413. This is the one Mr. Flashbulb KDB 44413 mobile. We done, we gone, bye-bye.
The only requirements for obtaining a license are that you are a United States citizen, 18 years old, and that you own and have read the FCC regulations for CB radio, known as Part 95 of the FCC Rules and Regulations. No test is required. This section of our communications law must be kept on file in your home or office at all times, and the operator of the radio must be familiar with its provisions. All requirements of Part 95 will be vigorously enforced by the Commission, but there are certain important provisions to discuss here. Your radio transceiver is a gigantic party line, and profanity is strictly forbidden, as is the discussion of any illegal activity. Remember that there are many young people operating radios under the guidance of their parents, and in addition to being against the law, it would be in bad taste to use vulgar language. Such misuse of a public access channel should be openly discredited by fellow CBers. No one has the right to subject listeners to vulgarity of any nature. In addition, it is against the law to transmit on any but the assigned frequencies that have been built into your transceiver and previously tested and approved by the FCC. This is for your own protection. If the assigned frequencies were not strictly adhered to, the airwaves would be a chaotic jungle of transmissions that would prevent anyone from transmitting or receiving a message. Only a maximum of 4 watts output power may be used to transmit. Any increase in output power will not only bring the wrath of other CBers, but possible suspension, fine, and confiscation of equipment by the FCC. The use of additional power will also cause television interference known as TVI, affecting many people in the community. 4 watts of output power permits every citizen to enjoy and use his transceiver successfully, and the use of linear amplifiers or other power-increasing devices will force other CBers off the air, cause TVI, and certainly provoke an immediate deluge of complaints to an FCC field office. And while we're on the subject, it is also against the law to broadcast any pre-recorded music, singing, or entertainment of any kind. Entertainment is best left to the commercial radio stations. In addition, it is illegal to transmit sound from any electronic device such as a synthesizer or signal generator, and selling, advertising, or charging for a transmitted message is strictly forbidden. Channel 9 has been set up by the FCC for emergencies and as an aid to motorists. The use of this channel for any purpose other than an emergency is by law a misdemeanor. However, common sense would dictate that it's important to keep this channel clear of chit-chat, because any one of us may find himself in need of emergency assistance on the highway or in a disaster and needing to get an immediate message through to the law enforcement or other emergency personnel monitoring the channel. Every year, there are more than 30 million calls for help on Channel 9. Now that you know the lingo, the customs, the laws, and your responsibilities on the air, it's time for your first broadcast. Enjoy your newfound power to communicate with the world. Respect and use that power to help your fellow citizens. This is that one Mr. Voice Man saying 3s and 8s to you. Have a good day today and a better day tomorrow. KPT 10036. We're down, we're gone. Bye-bye.